So well friends, here in this class we are to discuss today about the meaning of hypothesis. We have one class already where we have discussed about the concept of research. At the same time, preliminary discussions have been made relating to the concept of hypothesis. Let us see absolutely how we are to explain the concept of hypothesis. And for knowing this, we have to study the origin of the term. And when the term hypothesis means its origin is being studied, we see that the term has been originated from the Greek term hypothesis. And the meaning of the term hypothesis is foundation. So friends, from the research context, when we discuss about the significance or importance of hypothesis, we come to know that just after selecting the research problem area, we go to the absolute problem of our own research. And by analyzing the available literatures, we shortlist the objectives and then put the question of formulation of the hypothesis or the hypotheses arise in the field of research. And hypothesis basically works as the foundation of the total research study. Let us see the next. Hypothesis very simply means a proposed explanation based on limited evidence used as a starting point for further investigation. And for the formulation of hypothesis or hypotheses, we are to thoroughly scrutinize the available research literature, and then we can shortlist the objectives and we can go to formulate the hypothesis or hypotheses. Participants, research findings generally depend on confirmation of hypothetical knowledge, means assumed knowledge. By formulating the hypothesis or the hypotheses, we assume the probable or would-be result of our own study, and with the help of the process of research, we are to validate, means we are to prove the contents of the hypothesis, and then the confirmation of knowledge results. The term hypothetical here means based on an imagined or possible situation rather than the fact. Means hypothesis doesn't mean fact. It means assumed knowledge. Under the help of the process of research, by establishing the reality of the formulated hypotheses, we report the fact or facts of our own study. Let us see the next one. Here you see this H is here. Research is a special process of confirmation of knowledge in a more systematic and scientific way, where two primary roles are played by the hypotheses. Friends, research is a rigorous study. It is a painstaking sourcing of realities. Research helps to evaluate knowledge. Research helps to re-evaluate the established knowledge. Research helps to prove the validity of the established knowledge. As well, research helps to find out the realities behind varied phenomena, varied problems, varied situations, etc. And depending on the hypothesis, we confirm the volume of knowledge or the acceptability parameter of knowledge. In research, hypotheses play their roles as the tracks or the routes to the finalization of knowledge in a more generalized manner, means in more acceptable way. Research is such a study with the help of which generalization of knowledge is possible, and with the help of the process of research by or with the validation of the formulated hypotheses, we prove the acceptability of a particular knowledge or the validity of a particular knowledge or the general acceptability of the knowledge, established knowledge or fact. The Penguin Dictionary of Philosophy, there is a very fine dictionary of which is being published by Penguin, and this dictionary has given the meaning of the term hypothesis as a supposition or conjecture, a supposition or conjecture to be subject to further inquiry or test in psychology as well as in science. A premise which is merely assumed but not asserted, not, accepted as final statement or final fact. Let us see the next one. In logical language means in scientific explanation, hypotheses are the starting point of induction. In our earlier discussion, we have discussed in detail about the process of induction as well as the process of deduction for the generalization of knowledge. And hypotheses are the starting point of induction. Let us see the next one. Induction, still though we have discussed in detail, still for your understanding, brief discussions have been made here too. As we have discussed earlier, is a method of reasoning in which a general rule or conclusion is drawn from particular facts or examples. Means by giving in deduction from established facts, we come to the particular facts. But in induction, what we do, we study the particular facts or examples and we generalize the knowledge. Ram is mortal, as for example, Hori is mortal, Rohit is mortal, therefore man is mortal. This is induction in a sense where some examples are being placed, and by searching or by proving the reality of the examples, we conclude or we make our general statement. Let us see the next one. Thus in logic, to discover and prove a general law, it is to be started with a provisional supposition as to what the law might be, and such provisional supposition regarding the nature or status of the law is nothing but the hypothesis. So friends, the very specific definition of hypothesis you have got here. The logicians regard hypothesis as the first stage of induction. And depending on the hypothesis, we go to the general statement or general reporting for general acceptance of knowledge or of our study. Man has been trying to unfold the realities of events, things, beings, or in a sense the phenomena of the world. Since the beginning of human civilization, man long has still been trying to establish the realities of varied problems, varied phenomena, varied situations, varied things, varied matters, just to contribute to some extent to the parameter of knowledge. The process of expansion of knowledge depends on continuous study or striving of man. And the research is a very systematic and scientific process for the establishment of knowledge and to add knowledge with the existing stock. Establishment of causal connection amongst phenomena has been the primary aim, where situational analysis for the generalization of knowledge plays vital roles or important roles. In order to accomplish such mission of life, man always relies on the formal grounds of everything in this universe. That is, the law of uniformity of nature and the law of causation. These are very most important two laws, depending on which we try to establish realities. Friends, establishing knowledge or contributing our share to the existing stock of knowledge is not so much easy. It demands it demands continuous perseverance. It demands tireless perseverance. It demands patient perseverance. And that's why research is a very systematic and painstaking searching of knowledge for the establishment of realities of various problems or phenomena which are not up till now studied or established by others, as well as with the help of the process of research, we check the validity of the established knowledge as per the demand of the chance, time, as well as life requirements. Let us see the next one. There are presuppositions which work as the internal force and basis of any kind of scientific explanations of realities, that nature is uniform in its behavior and that every event in the universe has a cause. Means nothing happens without cause. Scientists always try to know the cause to establish authority over the phenomena and control them according to the demand of life. In such process, hypothesis plays the great roles. From hypotheses, theory emerges, and from theory, law is found. See, friends, we do not find law at a time or immediately or suddenly. We find laws depending on systematic research on various issues, on various phenomena of this very mysterious universe where we are living in. So friends, depending on the hypothesis, we try to, with the help of the process of knowledge, we go to the point of the formulation of theory or theories. And by the validation, or with the help of the process of validation of the acceptability, general acceptability of, or proving the general acceptability of the developed theory or theories, you see, in the field of science, we get laws or law. We find law or we find laws. Let us see the next one. Thus, hypothesis is the essential part of any systematic study. It is the provisional assumption or supposition of realities. Provisional supposition, not final supposition. Provisional assumption of realities, not final assumption of realities. The final assumption, the provisional assumptions, the provisional suppositions of realities are reported with the help of the process of research, with the help of the process of validation of the hypotheses. For the generalization of realities or understanding the cause-effect relations, the hypotheses are to be verified. The process of verification of hypotheses helps to reach the stage of final finding of realities. And this way, we become able to generalize the found out knowledge with the help of the process of research. And in the field of science as well as in the field of psychology, we become successful in developing theory or theories. And by proving the general acceptability of the contents of developed theory or theories in the field of science, we become successful in formulating laws. Thus, the more verified state of hypothesis gives the more dignified level of every or all types of knowledge. When hypotheses reach the verified level, it's a great question, friends. Participants, if you put a question to yourself, when and how the hypothesis reach the verified level. For answering the second question, how, with the help of the process of research. When? Then, only then, when theory is found out, formulated. Means the hypothesis reach the verified level, then only when theory is found or theories are found. Thus, theory is a verified or dignified state of hypothesis. What is theory? In knowledge, it's a very simple definition. Theory of knowledge is the verified or dignified state of hypothesis. And hypotheses are the provision and supposition or assumption. And once we become successful in proving the validity, it becomes, you see, it becomes or it takes the form of theory. After the theorization of knowledge, the process of applications of such theory in the practical field becomes possible, and we get the benefit and humanity advances. Means the advancement of human civilization, change of human life, uplift of human society, everything depends on the products of research. So friends, research is such an economic area on which everything depends. The transformation of national economy, the change of cultural parameter, the uplift of social status, the change in grand scale always depends on research findings. And that's why in the field of higher education, research has become one of the most important considerations. And we are to be so much sincere at the time of considering the significance of research in the field of higher education. The application of theory in greater form on the general level helps to establish the same in the arena of knowledge. As soon as the theory is established in the general arena of knowledge, it becomes a law. Thus, law is the result of the more verified, purified and dignified state of theories, hypotheses. So what is theory? We have found, and now we have come to know in simple way what does you say law mean? Law is the result of the more verified, purified and dignified state of hypotheses. Means law also depends on research. Theory also depends on research. Informing or establishing the realities behind the very phenomena of this extensive and very mysterious universe also depends on research. Transformation of life depends on research. Change of social parameter depends on research. Uplift of economy depends on research. Development in the sector of health depends on research. You see, everything depends on research, and that's why research has become one of the most important considerations in the field of higher education. In simple perception, well-established hypotheses which make certain the general application of theory is nothing but law. And once we reach the stage of general applicability, it becomes the generalized state of knowledge for universal use or for universal acceptance. So friends, Hypothesis has special importance in the field of research. Hypothesis is a provisional presupposition. It is a provisional case. And depending on the hypothesis, we go to formulate theory, and with the help of the process of validation of theory, we go to law, and with the help of the process of formulation of law or laws, with general acceptability for the global social order of knowledge is totally, proved, or it is bring forward towards human knowledge landscape or towards knowledge paradigm or parameter. Thank you so much for today.